Hey y'all, this YouTube video is all for rodeo athletes who have been stuck, who have been struggling with overcoming some stuff. This video I shot is, I think, one of the greatest videos I've ever done. I actually shot it for police dispatchers who have to deal with like shootings and violence and robberies and all kinds of stuff. When they get off shift, how do they let go of the negativity and how do they move on with the rest of their day? And I think it's something that really helps out rodeo athletes. So if you like this video, let me know about it in the comments below. If you have an idea for another video, let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And maybe I'll see you at the next rodeo. Adios.
Many years ago, when I started rodeoing, I go to 100 plus events per year. The first 10 years of my professional rodeo career, I spent 300 days a year plus on the road. And so I would go and I would rodeo and I would compete. And for those of you that don't know me or never heard of me, I've been to the Super Bowl of our sport, the National Finals Rodeo, 13 times, a world champion. I've been doing this a long time. And quickly in my career, I have realized that whether I won or I lost in the arena, that had to stay in the arena. I had to compete in the arena, but I had to leave whatever happened in the arena. I couldn't carry it forward to the next competition because guess what? If I took a loss from one rodeo and I carried it through the next rodeo, I wouldn't be in the right mindset to go compete and to go to win. And then above and beyond that, I was like, man, once I got married and had kids and started doing all this stuff, that bad day in the arena, that bad ride, that bad whatever, not only could I carry it to the next rodeo, but then it could also infect my family, my time at home, the way I slept, all this stuff. You just need the correct tools. And I think a lot of times we come trying to serve, we want to do good for the rodeo athletes, we want to win. I think a lot of times as human beings, we tend to internalize that and then carry it forward. And so if I could give you the first tool in your toolbox is to understand that we need to leave what happened to us in the arena. And so one technique that I use for that is that I always future pace. So understand that whatever is in your mind, the most powerful memory always wins out. Right? Think about the news. Why do we always see negativity on this news? It's because negativity spreads faster and further than positivity. It's just a proven fact. That's why a call might stick in your head for a day or 2 days or 3 days. Or that's why something that happened, you just keep replaying it over and over and over and over again in your mind, thinking, I could have done this, I should have done this, I would have done this. The number one way to cut that out and to get back into a state so you can perform and help the next call or go to your family is you have to future pace. I want you to take a step back from the situation that you're in right now. You might be coming off a call that is just like terrible, that something disgusting happened that you just hate. And the longer you let that sit there, the longer it will grow. Now, the seed that is planted will grow to the harvest. So if the seed that you allow to stay planted in your mind is that negative call, it's going to grow to bad fruit. But if you pull that seed out and you put a new one in, you can reframe your mind to have a great tree that produces amazing fruit. So when I said earlier, I future pace, the number one thing that I would use back in the day to go from one competition to the next competition is I would think about what I could do tomorrow. I would think about, yes, I need to self-reflect and say, okay, I could have done this better, but you know what? On the next one, because I did that better, I'm going to win first, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. I would begin to think about the future and not the past. And it's forced. It's not going to be easy for you to let something go that happened. You're going to have to take a stand, put your foot down and say, nope, I am not going to think about that. I'm going to reflect from that, but I'm going to take what I learned from that and I'm going to serve like crazy in the next thing. You know, for myself, I would take that concept of future pacing, thinking about the next thing that I can do, that I must do, that I will do because I want to serve and add value or win, in my case, at the next event. And it would fire me up so much. But then if that was all I did, some of the negativity would start creeping in. Okay, it would start creeping in. So even though you're future pacing, you're thinking about the future, the next thing that I would do is I would begin to link it mentally from what I will do and then the joy that I would give somebody else by doing that. So think about this. When I would go to a competition, it wouldn't go so well. If I carried it, it would sabotage, so I'd start future pace, and I'd think about the next rodeo. The most important day of your life, remember this, is the next one, is tomorrow, and how well you live that. So I begin to thinking about the next day, the next competition, but then as my motivation started to slip, I would kind of fall back into the negativity. So what then I started doing after that was like, I'm going to start thinking about how much joy that's going to bring my family if I do well tomorrow. So I would think about, hey, if I go and I win the American rodeo, my wife's going to jump on me like she did the last time. She's going to give me a big hug. She's going to say, honey, I'm so proud of you. That was so awesome. That was so amazing. I can't believe. And then I begin to feel how much joy I brought the other person. So never let the past thing rob you of the future success that you're going to have in service of other people. Future pace. Think about tomorrow. Think about what you can do tomorrow, what you will do tomorrow. Think about the lives that you will affect tomorrow. That feels good. I would challenge you to hold on to those good memories like that. If you're going through a tough time, if you're struggling, you had 3 or 4 or 5 bad calls, it's going to happen. At some point, if you do it long enough, you're going to have a bad day where it's just going to be like, Challenge yourself to not only future pace, but to link it to how great you made somebody feel. Sometimes I'll go to 20 competitions and not win anything. That's 20, nothing, and just lose and get hurt and all this stuff happens. I'll think about my kids. How amazing when that last row that I did good, they were there, they come running up to me, they jumped on me, said, Daddy, you did so amazing, you did so awesome, so proud of you, Dad. I think about how good that makes me feel. And you see, if you go back to the concept of the most powerful memory always wins, and then think about the amazing things that you've done in the past, those 3 things, they will help you from holding on to that negativity and moving forward.
And if you're a person who's struggling with getting the momentum and getting the ball rolling, I have something amazing for you. It's called the Cowboy Challenge. Down in the description below, I want you to accept the challenge, the Cowboy Challenge, to give you momentum, to give you resiliency, to give you mental toughness, to go on and chase life. And you can check that out. There's also a ton of free stuff in the description below.
And the other thing that will help you with is the replay. So many people struggle with replays. Like, think about it. If you've had a bad conversation with a loved one or a terrible call or something happened, you just constantly replay it over and over and over and over and over in your head. I can only imagine you guys get off work, you are driving home, the last thing that you want to do is carry any of this negativity into your friends or your family or the next environment you enter. I understand it. For me, I'm like, it ends here, it ends now. So I have this one thing that I do is like, I hear a sound, boom, something like that. It's called a character change. I change characters immediately. So after I get off a bad day, or a bad run, or a bad whatever, I am immediately future pacing. I'm thinking about who I can help and what I did in the past that evoked an amazing emotion. Then the next thing I do is when I slam the door, I hear something like that, getting into my truck, leaving from the rodeo, entering in your house, something that makes a noise like that. It's like action. I'm done with it. That's in the past. It's like I stepped through the doorway and it's done. It's over. It's in the past. Think about actors. What do? They say, and action, and then the actor begins to play the role. Yourself, whatever that transition period is, that character change period, it needs to happen so that you don't carry this mess home. And for me, what I used to do when I would leave an event, when I would leave a rodeo, I would just slam the door of my truck, not like try to kill me, but the sound of the door slamming was like, boom, I'm done. That's it. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about the next thing I can do. I'm thinking about what I can go be, what I can achieve, and all of that stuff. And see, that character change will keep you from transitioning things over and over and over to your kids, to your husband, to your wife, to your friends, right? We want to talk about all of our stuff, right, to somebody. And so what I would tell you in dealing with the stress above doing the first 3 things that I told you, and the character change here, making that solid thing that made you shift into your new environment, is that you gotta tell somebody what you're going through. And it doesn't need to be your husband all the time. It doesn't need to be your wife all the time. Maybe it's a close friend. Maybe when you get done with your shift, you've been working all night, you guys can just decompress for a minute, talk about things. Many years ago when I was rodeoing, I had this individual who was a sponsor of mine. He's a great man. About 60 years old. He might have been 61. He rode his bike every day, like 5 miles, to his metal fabrication business. He was just an old farmer that rode his mountain bike to his work. And I really looked up this man. He had a great attitude. Well, guess what? A piece of plaque broke loose in his heart and he passed away. I remember feeling like super down. I was just like, I can't believe that. You know, he's a great man, very young, very active, very agile. And I'm sitting there, I'm like thinking how bad this was. And I got that call. 10 minutes later, I'm walking over to another area in Cheyenne. I kind of like got my head down. And this lady swings open the door on her horse trailer as I'm walking by all the horse trailer. And she's like, help, help, help. She's screaming. He's gone, he's gone, he's gone. Well, I know this lady because we see each other for like 10 years. We go to the same class. I know this lady. And I know that she can be a bit dramatic at times. So I'm like, oh, okay, you know, what's going on? And so I get over there and she's like, help, help, help. I thought she was probably talking about her dog or something. So I go in the trailer. So I'm like, wake up, dude. I grab his leg. And his leg was like ice cold. He was gone. He'd been gone at this point long enough that his body was cold. To be honest with you, that really stuck with me. It was like two things happened back to back to back. And it stuck with me for days and days. And a lot of what I have now, as far as these toolboxes and these things that I do these because they work. And I tested these things on this scenario, and it helped me.
Hey, do me a favor. If you like this video, let's you and me make a deal. Let's shake hands. Yeah, that good, firm cowboy handshake. If you like this video, do me a favor. Share it with somebody. Subscribe to the channel. And my end of the bargain, I will bring you everything I know about being a high performer, a world champion, and an entrepreneur. If that sounds like a fair deal, go and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment too, because I'm going to answer every single comment that comes in on this video.
So I don't understand what you go through exactly, but I have had some very intense life situations, of some trauma of finding friends who passed away, that this stuff actually works. After that happened for me, I prayed over him until the police showed up, and then they taped off the area and everything. And after that, I went and spent some time talking to my pastor, right? I went and talked to him. I said, hey, this is what happened. I have a hard time dealing with it. And we prayed about it, thought about it. I did the replay, and then I came up with all these little tools, right, that help me deal with not only the losses in rodeo, because I've had thousands of losses in rodeo, but this one specific traumatic situation. And the key is, don't try to do it all yourself. Don't try to be like, I got this, I can do it. If you begin to feel yourself getting overwhelmed, like shortness of breath, you're snapping at people, maybe you're not able to open up and talk freely anymore, then you probably need some more time to decompress. And you need to get with somebody whom you know, like, and trust, and confide in these people to help open yourself up. We always feel better when we let things out. It never feels good holding something in that just hurts. So of all the things that I've taught you, I hope that you will actually apply them. I'm just a rodeo cowboy who's had to deal with a lot of things in my life, and I want to take some of the principles that I know to be able to help you. And so know that you got a cowboy in pink over here in Brock, Texas that's praying for you guys, that believes in your ability to go and achieve. And I pray that you'll just take some of these tools, you'll put them in your toolbox, and you'll utilize them, because you know what? A lot of people are counting on you, and I know you have what it takes.
Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I truly will read every single comment on this video. And guess what? If you want to watch another amazing video, check this one out right here. I know that it will serve your life. Take care. Adios.